When you stop overthinking, life finally feels like yours again. If this message reaches you, it is meant for you. For anyone seeking inner peace today, you are not the mind, listen. Have you ever wondered why some people walk through life with this calmness as if their soul is resting even while the world moves around them? While you feel like your mind is running at full speed even on the days when nothing is wrong? Why does it seem like they can let things go so effortlessly, while you're lying awake at night replaying a conversation that happened 8 months ago? It's strange, isn't it? Two people can live the same day but experience two completely different realities. One is drowning in thoughts. The other is simply living. And if you're listening right now, I want to tell you something gently but clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. Your mind simply never learned how to be quiet. But there is a way out. And this message right here is the doorway. Your mind is not trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you, but it's doing it badly. Overthinking is your mind's attempt at safety. It replays the past because it thinks if it analyzes enough, you won't get hurt again. It imagines the future because it thinks if it prepares enough, nothing will go wrong. But here is the heartbreaking twist. The mind that tries to protect you often ends up hurting you the most. You lose sleep. You lose peace. You lose moments that could have been beautiful because your mind is on a different timeline. You're physically here, but mentally everywhere else. That is what overthinking really is, a quiet exile from the life you were supposed to be living. But the present moment doesn't need your thoughts. It just needs you. Right now, as you listen, there's probably a voice commenting in the background. Maybe it's analyzing this video. Maybe it's doubting it. Maybe it's thinking about what you need to cook later or whether someone is ignoring your message. That voice never shuts up. But here's the question almost nobody asks. If you can hear the voice, who is listening? You are, not the voice. The awareness behind it. That quiet presence watching the mind do its thing, that is who you are. And once you truly see this, your entire life shifts. It's like suddenly realizing the noisy radio in the car isn't actually part of the engine. You can turn it down. You can ignore it. You can switch stations. Or you can simply let it play without letting it control how you drive. Let me share a simple story from a friend of mine, Melissa. Whenever her boss said, "Hey, we need to talk tomorrow," she would spiral into every frightening possibility. Her mind would go, "Did I mess up? Is he disappointed? Am I getting fired?" She wouldn't sleep. She'd rehearse conversations. Her stomach would twist. And the next day, her boss would simply say something like, "Could you update the spreadsheet when you get a chance?" Nothing dramatic, nothing scary, just a normal comment. Yet Melissa had already lived the worst possible future inside her mind. That's the tragedy of overthinking. You suffer more in imagination than you do in reality. Your mind is like an overprotective parent who sees danger everywhere. You're quiet? It worries. You're happy? It checks if something bad is coming. You're trying something new? It warns you of every possible failure. Someone replies late? It creates a full emotional movie with drama, betrayal, and imaginary storylines. But the truth is simple. Your mind reacts to thoughts as if they were real physical threats. But almost none of the threats it warns you about ever come true. Imagine paying emotional insurance every day for disasters that never happen. That is overthinking. One day, during a particularly intense spiral, Melissa heard her mind saying, "Something is wrong. Prepare for the worst." And then, a quieter realization rose inside her. Wait, I'm hearing this. If I can notice this voice, then this voice is not me. That tiny moment changed her life. Because noticing the voice means you're no longer trapped in it. It's like stepping outside a tornado and watching it spin from a distance. You're no longer inside the storm, you're witnessing it. That's the beginning of freedom. You know what really destroys peace? Mental time travel. Living in the future or reliving the past. You live in the future with endless what if scenarios. Or you live in the past with I should have or why didn't I? But every moment spent in the past or future is stolen from the life you actually living. Peace exists only in this moment, not next week, not years ago, not after everything is perfect. Peace is now, always now. Let me tell you about someone else. A man named Jordan I coached. After a breakup, his mind replayed the final conversation over and over. The breakup happened once, but he lived through it hundreds of times. Every morning, every night, every quiet moment, his mind replayed the pain. One day he said, "It feels like she broke up with me every morning for the last year." That is what overthinking does. It keeps emotional wounds open long after the moment has passed. Healing begins the day you stop replaying the pain and start living again. Here's something important to understand. Your mind creates emotions based on the stories it tells, not events that actually happened. If the story is painful, the emotion will be painful. If the story is scary, the emotion will be fear. You can ruin a peaceful evening by thinking about something someone said years ago. That's not life hurting you. That's the story hurting you. When you finally see this clearly, everything changes. So let me teach you the technique that frees you. I call it notice and name. When your mind starts spiraling, pause and say internally, "I notice my mind is thinking." This creates distance. Then name what it's doing. Replaying that conversation, imagining the worst, worrying about tomorrow. When you name the pattern, you're no longer inside it. Then, anchor your attention to the present. Feel your feet on the floor, notice 3 sounds, take 1 conscious breath. This is not about controlling thoughts. It's about reclaiming your attention. Your mind is allowed to talk. You just don't have to follow it. When you practice this, something beautiful happens. You catch the spiral earlier. You detach quicker. You feel lighter. You react less. You stop living in your head and start living in your life. A quiet day arrives when the voice in your mind begins to sound less like an enemy and more like background noise. It still talks, but it no longer controls how you feel. You don't silence your mind. You simply stop obeying it. That is inner peace. And here's the truth. Peace is not something you create. Peace is your natural state beneath the noise. When you stop overthinking, you don't become peaceful. You return to the peace that was always there, under the fear, under the thoughts, under the stories. There is a quiet, spacious awareness inside you that has never been touched by any worry, any failure, any heartbreak. When you reconnect with that part of yourself, life stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like home. If this message touched you even a little, then trust this. You are ready for peace. You are ready for a new way of living. You are ready to stop overthinking and finally breathe again. This channel is for people like you, people who feel deeply, think intensely, and are finally ready to stop being prisoners of their own mind. If this resonated, subscribe, because I make videos for people who are waking up to who they really are. And before you go, answer this in the comments. What did you notice when you watched your thoughts instead of believing them? Your answer might help someone who needs it today. You are not your mind. You are the one who sees it. And the moment you realize that, your life becomes peaceful again.